We are growing at the Grove. Our vision is to be a growing church for growing people whom Christ will use for growing his kingdom. The Incarceration Outreach Ministry will be partnering with Take One. Take One is a faith-based organization that works closely with the Tennessee Department of Corrections. They develop programs that provide support services to offenders and their families during their first year of release. The Incarceration Outreach Ministry is seeking individuals who have knowledge in the following areas: housing support services, employment education, life skills, substance abuse, mental health counseling, and family counseling. For more information, please visit the ministry table after service. Celebrate 125 years at the Grove by participating in 125 acts of service. At Watson Grove, we believe in serving the kingdom. Starting today until August the 1st, we will be giving back by committing 125 acts of service for people that we interact with in our daily lives. Visit our website, watsongrovembc.org. Click on the banner for 125 acts of service and get an idea of how you can commit your act of service for those in your community. You've done your act of service? Show us by uploading your photo on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter and use our hashtag TheGrove125. Tag us and we will share your pictures. Let's show the Nashville community how we've been growing strong for 125 years through service to others. Come on, let's see your 125 acts of service. The Grace Factor. Everything we have been, everything we are, and everything we will ever be is the result of God. These blessings are not given to us because we deserve it. It is simply because of His grace. Grace is the chief method of God's interaction with us. Only through grace are we empowered to fulfill the purpose He has for us. Most of us understand that grace is God's unmerited favor, but what does grace look like in everyday life? Why is it so vital to being a Christian? And what makes people describe it as amazing? Join us July through August as Pastor Faison shares with us the importance of the Grace Factor. Don't miss it. Hashtag Grace Factor. Don't forget, your Partner of the Month nominations are due every fourth Sunday.
Greetings to the Grove. Happy birthday, Watson Grove. 125 years of doing that which the Lord has called us to do. This is no small achievement. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Matthew 16:18 says, "Upon this rock I'll build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." We know that this passage speaks of Jesus talking to Peter and how he was founding his universal church. But what is true for the universal church is also true for individual churches. We are founded upon a rock. We are standing on a rock. And that is our theme for this 125th church anniversary, standing on the rock, understanding that everything we have and everything that we are is based upon who we stand upon. And that rock for us is Jesus the Christ. We are absolutely favored of God, that we have some people in our congregation that have actually been standing on the rock longer than most of us have even been alive. These persons are precious jewels, living legends, if you will, that know the history of Watson Grove and exactly how God moved and helped us become who we are today. They are living chronicles, living history books. They are the evidence that God has been with us in every generation. So let's take a moment to hear from these living legends and let them educate us, help us, and remind us from where we've come.
Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Watson Grove Church was organized and built in Una, Tennessee, now Antioch, Tennessee, in 1889. Una was a very small community, and there were only a few people of either the Baptist or Methodist faith. Both denominations desired and needed a place to worship because neither congregation was financially able to acquire and maintain a building alone. Let's take a look at how it all got started.
I remember that on the first and third Sundays they had service. I remember the first one would get there in the winter time, would have to go in, make a fire, go back to their car and sit till the church got warm. If it's summertime, they would have to go in and raise all the windows in the church to air it out.
Well, it was a little church that set off on Murfreesboro Road, back over, you know. It was just like a one room.
My first involvement at the Grove was in Una, Tennessee, where there was twice a month worship experience. About 5 families or 6 families at the most, about 40 members altogether. I remember the Barnes family, I remember the Lockridge family, I remember the Gillespie, the Lewis, Robert Lewis, who owned cab stand and funeral home at that time, and the Barnes family and Gillespie, McKelvicks, about 5 or 6 or 7 families there at that time. And we drive out there twice a month, and as we learned that on the 5th Sunday we usually united together with the Methodist Church because they had it 2 Sundays and we had it 2. And if that was a 5th Sunday, we united together and worship.
We were known for helping other people and other churches. We started out doing things, and we only had one choir at that time. And later on, after we moved here, we started having young people, and we started a junior choir. And out of the junior choir, we had, well, some of the young people in the junior choir became ministers. And I was director of the junior choir. First one started the junior choir. When I moved to Nashville, I seen an opportunity that the church needed some way to keep informed. And being a printer from where I worked, I began to bring programs and things and started doing the printing of programs for the church. Announcements and so forth.
I remember that we transitioned here to town in Nashville. We worshiped, we set up a tent. I remember summer months, we set up a tent, we worshiped when we first came to town. Community kind of rallied around us here in this community. Great community at that time and even now. We were able to draw others in, families in. And I remember that there was some difficulty in the construction work that was going on because there was a great big boulder or rock that was on the very corner of 15th and Horton here, and there was difficulty in getting that rock blasted to get to the point where we could do the foundation. Because of the neighborhood, there were doctors here. As a matter of fact, my uncle, William Watson, Dr. William Watson, was a dentistry and teacher instructor at Meharry. He lived here, the McKissick, who were architects, and it was that kind of a people that was in the neighborhood at that time, and they all rallied around us, helping us. But anyhow, we got that situated. But while we were in the midst of worshiping, we worship also and fellowship with Reverend Wash Green, who was the pastor of Mount Sinai at that time up here on 12th Avenue. And there were times that we would worship in his church when we were not able to worship in the tent until we got the building up and construction completed.
You have to know where all your help comes from. And I do know that He is my source of supply. Nobody else can do it like Jesus. If you don't, to me, if I don't have Jesus, then I'm nothing. He is the source of my supply. And I want to see, I want to help the young people, to try to keep them from falling in pits that I noticed they are, run into what. And I just love that. If I see you headed for something, and I can stop you if you listen to me, that's my goal. And I just want the Lord to use me lead me and direct me and guide me.
I would like to say to the young people that what's needed is a true commitment to God and kingdom building. And thank God for our pastor at the time now, Pastor John R. Faison, who is doing a wonderful job and a marvelous job, I should say, in outreach ministry to the community and to areas that really affect our lives in many ways. Ministries that he has implemented, that I hear him inviting others to become a part of it. It's a great thing to be a part of kingdom building during this time, especially. And I would say to the young people that what you're going to have to do in times like these is have a strong relationship with the Lord and make sure that you're committed to Him and trust Him through these times. I tell you, He will take care of you. Strive to walk before Him and be pleasing in His sight. And I'm the living epitome of His grace that He'll take care of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, wasn't that a blessing? But listen, this is just a glimpse of the kind of history and the kind of legacy that Watson Grove has. We have to do everything we can to preserve that legacy for future generations. In that effort, we are creating a video documentary, probably going to be about 90 minutes long. In essence, it's a movie that chronicles and remembers 125 years of Watson Grove being the church that God has called us to be. But listen, I need your help. If you have old photos, if you have old programs, if you have old videos, maybe even audio tapes or videotapes, anything that you have, we need your help putting this documentary together. We want to make sure that we're able to take a comprehensive picture of what it is God has done. And we can't do that alone. Need your assistance. If you've got anything that helps us remember from Una all the way to Edge Hill, even maybe at Tremont and 12th when we were at the Mount Sinai Primitive Baptist Church, wherever your historical artifacts come from, we need to borrow those. I promise they will be returned back to you. None of this will be kept. None of this will be held from you. These are your treasures. But help us to remember Watson Grove. We'll get them back to you, but it will be instrumental in us putting together what we need to put together to celebrate comprehensively what God has done in 125 years. All we need you to do is take that information and send it to the email address that is on your screen. If you're not able to send it via email address, simply drop it by the church, get it to Reverend Smithson. We'll make copies, we'll do whatever we have to do and get it back to you safe and sound. Listen, I need your help. Please respond, and help us remember the amazing things God's done through Watson Grove. Again, 125 years. Happy anniversary, but the best is yet to come.
Stay connected with us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, or learn more about us by visiting our website at watsongrovembc.org.